I have a lot to talk about here. It is a cold day here in the Northeast, but man, does this car sound freaking awesome just at idle. Okay, so for those of you who are watching this channel for the first time, I have a 2015 435i. It's got xDrive with it, so all-wheel drive, and I've done basically everything to this car, including cosmetics, just no fueling and no upgraded turbo. Everything else has pretty much been done. But to speak on that, it's like I'm in this situation where basically last night I sum up all the charges that I have spent to make this car look the way it does. And obviously to any other person or any BMW person, they're like, man, clean build. But you know exactly how much that cost me. Like I've said, this channel is obviously, and me personally, I'm not sponsored by anybody, so this is all out of pocket. And when I was adding all this stuff up, it was a crazy number, and a number that I was like, man, I could have just gotten this instead. So I came from the most trashy, ricer looking N54, which was a 535, and it was a 2010. And that set the standard of like, I really want to start getting into the modifications of cars, but I never really knew what exactly was the right move to play. I wanted to convert my 535i, an N54, into a replica M5 GT3, and it was gonna cost me around $10,000. The body kit alone was literally just, I think it was like $2,000. I was like, oh, that's simple. I was without paint match, I was without anything, and I was just gonna wrap it. So when I got this car, I was like, what's the best sounding engine? Because I really was just wanting the sound, and it was the N55. Everyone was saying, yeah, you could get V58, but that's for power, and obviously that's gonna cost a lot of money. And then obviously look up prices of cars, and you're like, well, you gotta get to that step first and then get to the modifications. Well, I unfortunately was doing the research and things were not in the price range at the time. So my idea for getting this car was not only for the N55, but it was for the sound, and because it was actually had dual exhaust tips rather than just a single-sided one. Yeah, that's how you can tell how ricer I was. To kind of further the story along a little bit faster, it's that I got into this consumption of how much have I spent to make this car to look the way it does? How much do I pay in insurance for? Because this car is actually fully paid off. It has been. I bought this full cash for $19,000. After everything, with taxes and fees, it was like 21 something, which, you know, again, not bad. And that was for Colorado. Then I had to pass emissions, and I'll do this BS, which I still do, but I haven't done, because I just moved. And like, I think I have an excuse of that sense. Okay, anyways, I think it's just time to tell you how much I've spent on this car to make it the way it has been. So this is literally including the price of the car and the fees and every freaking upgrade that I've done to it, every modification. It has been a whopping $35,000, and that's just me rounding it to the nearest thousandth of a dollar. Yeah. So this car pushes maybe high threes, and don't get me wrong, it's a beautiful car, and I really got it for the sound. But one thing I will tell you guys is that if you're ever wanting a car just for something, but you know you're gonna mod it, just understand that you should just go for the bigger thing. That way you know you can't mod it super fast, because then you won't enjoy it, you'll get bored of it. I'm not saying the N55 is bad, because it's not. It's actually a very reliable car. I've had really no issues with it. You know, it's a 10-year-old car and it's got 66,000 miles on it, which is also, it'll bring up another point at that statue right there. But $35,000 spent on a N55 to make it the way it has been. Again, if you're gonna look at a car yourself and you know you're gonna mod it, just get the better version. That way you don't actually spend as much money on it, and it's not as like full blown out, you know, and it's just better. Yeah, because then the resale value is actually, you know, you actually didn't really waste your money, you actually improved it because people will like it. So last night I was just kind of throwing a number out there just to see if I could afford an actual M car. Now, here's a couple situations with my ordeal. I'm 24, I'll be almost 25. I believe the insurance for myself goes down when I'm 26. Well, that's in a year. And a lot can happen within a year. And a lot can happen also within 6 months. So, I'm not saying... No, I actually am saying, because I'm pretty disappointed in the fact that I've spent so much money on this car to make it look like it does, even though it's super sick and I'm very proud of myself for it. But I looked at an M4 last night, a 2015, had 77,000 miles on it, and they want 31 grand for it. Could have gotten an S55 with 77,000 miles on it. That's pretty good. Stock. I think the only thing actually was different was the wheels. Like, the wheels were aftermarket, but you know, that's a thing you can negotiate down with the dealership, is that if there's not OEM everything, then you can negotiate that down. Like, you know, even though you're a car guy, you're basing it off of a stock build. So yeah, $31,000, and I could have had an S55. The only difference is obviously it's an F82, not a G82, so I would have to deal with no all-wheel drive systems, which honestly I've never had before, but they hold their value 10 times better, and a lot of people like them a lot better, and they sound so good. And you could do all the mods you want to it, and really they don't do anything majorly bad. The only problem that I have is that, yes, I could do turbos, I could do fuel systems with this car. And yes, it wouldn't really be the most fun daily drivable car, but screw it, you only live once. But now you're running into actual problems of the engine blowing up, pistons and rod bearings just crashing on you. It's all the stuff of the internals of the engine, and then your transmission, your torque converters, it's just a lot of stuff because it's automatic, right? Rather than this DCT. If you can't tell already by this video, I'm just really disappointed in the fact that I had this build and I had the dispensable money to buy an actual M car. Wouldn't do much to it. Spoiler, mid-pipe exhaust, downpipe, probably a tune, lowering springs, and that'd be it. I'd be settled with that, because I think at that rate, those cars look so good just like that. But this is where it comes into play, the insurance. Pretty sure that insurance for me was an outstanding number. Now I'm 24 when if I buy this at 24, that's the issue. I'm not there yet, but I'm so close to where it's like I could afford it. So at 24, under my parents' insurance still, it would be an astounding, I think it was $2,100 every 6 months. That's just the insurance. I would be financing this car as well. So on top of that, I'd say about $800 to $900 a month. But that's also what I'm spending on this car a month, because I'm doing upgrades for it. So what is the real problem here? Nothing really, right? Now you gotta go into the key factor of, well, what do you do within a year's span? Do you buy the car and just eat the bullet for the next 2 years and not do any mods to it, which I'd be fine with, because the car's already pushing almost 500 horsepower just stock. I'm not even pushing 500. I'd have to spend about 10,000 just to make this thing push the 500 horsepower that it could actually do. Not the butt dyno, this is actual numbers. So when I'm actually at that 10,000, now I'm at the 44,000 mark, which an M3 or an M4 would be $34,000 at that point. Yeah, I get you're dealing with fees and taxes and everything, but the insurance, now you gotta eat the bullet for the insurance. And that's gonna be the real kicker there. And then of course maintenance things. On M cars, maintenance is a little bit pricier than just on a regular car, obviously, because this is a normal non-sports car. The other one's an actual sports car. It's the motorsports of BMW. But then you wait a year and then your insurance probably goes down, especially if you have a clean record by then, or if you have a clean record by whenever. So my thing is that, well, do you bite the bullet? Or do you just continue to upgrade this car, and knowing that you're gonna go back to school and not be employed, do you just stick with this car, upgrade it to where you want it to upgrade, and be okay with insurance? Because the insurance for me right now on this car is about $900. And now if it's $900 and I'm not 24, or I'm not 25, not 26, now I'm running into the thing of, well, now I've passed the insurance, so now I can get it cheaper. Maybe not a lot, but a significant amount. So now I'm saving money. I don't know, bro. There's a whole bunch of different thoughts, different topics that I'm like, in my head, I'm like, is this the better idea? Is that the better idea? Obviously, I'm going back to school. If I wasn't going back to school, I'd say just freaking do it, because obviously it's the most financially smart decision. I personally think because I'm going back to school for dental stuff, it's like I'm not gonna be employed for a while. So to save money would be to this car, and it's gonna give me the amount of horsepower that I want. I don't do pulls, I don't do racing pretty much ever. So what's the point of getting the M car? Just to say that I got an M4 and to say and to hear that sound and everything? See, because now that I spoke that out loud, I'm like, this seems stupid. I'd say, oh my god, it was gonna be an investment for social media. But listen, social media is such a luck game, it's not even funny. Like, that's full boost and it just sounds so awesome. I don't know what to do, guys. I need your help. I need your help in saying like what you would do. Because as of right now, I'm in a clouded head of social media being the key problem of why I'm explaining these different things and having these different thoughts. Again, there's nothing wrong with this car. It's actually been super freaking reliable, knock on wood, but I think I've beat this car, you know, and nothing's wrong with it. I've accidentally redlined it twice for about 5 seconds on accident. I've done burbles, I've done gunshot tunes, and this thing has been... So I don't know what to do. I really don't know what to do. What would you do if you're in my boat? If you know you're gonna go back to school, you're not gonna go back to work for a while, you're just gonna have like side hustles. Would you spend the money and actually get a real M car and have the insurance be a little bit higher and maybe not do so much to the M car, but then now if something maintenance wise happens, now you gotta pay the extra price for that? Or would you stick with the N55 or B58 even? But no, we'll stick with the N55 in my situation and have the mods that I've done to it, maybe continue the mods, and, you know, maybe have a $45,000 build here, but at least you're happy, and at least the insurance is stupid low, and you're not having problems, and it's low mileage on top of that. I sincerely wish that I could roll down the window right now so I could let you guys hear the new Purple tune, but it is 26 degrees out. And it's actually so cold that, again, with this radiator and everything, that one, my car's not warming up properly because it's getting there. But two, I can't even get the purples on because it's just so cold out. Like, it's just not working. So yeah, this engine's got to heat up for a little bit before that can even happen. Speaking of M4s, there's actually a gold one right behind me here. Oh my god, it's so beautiful. I love it. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see from here. Probably not. Nope. I'm trying to slow down so that way you can come up to me. Ah. It's there. Maybe I'll zoom into the camera in that post-production here. God, it's so sexy. Like, bro, I'm telling you, you can't beat the S55 sound. Like, as great as the N55 is and how great it sounds, it's basically like the N55 is just for insurance purposes. The S55 just is amazing. It doesn't even matter the color of the S55, bro. It's just the structure of the engine, the transmission, the sound, the looks of it. I mean, you saw that thing had really no cosmetics to it, but it sounded so good. Maybe I'm just in my head a lot. I need y'all's help, for real. So I'm gonna leave it at that. You know the price that I have for this build. You probably are thinking the same thing as I am, and then we'll just leave it from there. So thank y'all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you soon.